Hey there, I'm Tara Milo, and I'm hosting a postcard party so people can get together and write postcards to send to our representatives to make sure our voice is heard in Congress. And a couple of people have been asking me how to host a postcard party because they want to host one too, which is awesome. The more people, the better, because we want to have a representative democracy and they are there to represent us, so we should tell them how we want them to vote. So a couple of things that I've done to host a postcard party. Really all it is about showing up and holding space. So I simply said, I'm going to be here making postcards and you can come join me. There's just a little bit of a barrier, I think, for people like, I don't know how to get started. I don't know what to write about. Who do I send it to? So you can just eliminate that barrier by saying, I'm going to be here making postcards. Please join me. And it's as simple as that. So I've done a couple of things in order to provide everything that people need for the postcard party. One thing I did was I went to Target and I got note cards. These are 4x6, so 4 inches by 6 inches note cards. They are lined, which is a little bit weird, but whatever. They're lined. They're totally fine. I took them to the post office and made sure they are the right weight and the right size to be used as postcards, and they said they're totally fine. They're a little bit boring for me, so I got some pink duct tape and I'm just putting tape on them randomly just to make decorations, more for myself really. Like maybe you put some tape on and then write some hashtags below your tape. I don't know. I just like to make it a little bit interesting. So I did that. And again, the post office said that's totally fine. I'm doing it to add a little bit of weight. I feel like they should be a little bit heavier than note card paper. But they're perfectly acceptable. And then I also asked them at the post office, is this okay? So I made labels, and I'm going to show you how to make labels. And they said that's fine. Maybe scoot it down a little bit, kind of have it in the lower half. You can kind of draw this in half with your eye and just put the postcard kind of, or the label below that half line just a little bit. And you always want to leave the bottom blank, like just a finger, you know, just your fingertip blank, because they will put a scan bar across the bottom and they need to be able to scan that. So don't write across the bottom and just put your message up here. Now I've got a couple of tips about writing messages. Keep it really short and sweet and really clear. Like vote yes on this, vote no on this. Just make it really clear. And another tip is to use their language. Okay, so I think it's pretty clear that I am liberal, and I know that Republicans are really good at language, and we just have to concede that they are. We like a lot of fluff and flighty language, very academic, and they just cut right through that, and they're very literal. So a lot of the policies right now on the White House webpage are about America first. So just grab that language and say, you know, I believe an America First energy policy is renewable energy, because building solar panels in the United States, installing them on homes here, and maintaining those solar panels are American jobs. Green jobs are American jobs. Just talk about jobs all the time and America first. So take their language and use it, because we can do that. We can totally do that. So keep it really short and sweet. Use their language. And be very clear. It helps to have bill numbers if they're voting on a specific bill. That's helpful too. So you might bring your laptop and have congress.gov open, and you can kind of search for bills and have that available. I also brainstormed a list of things that people can write about, because a lot of times, you know, what am I supposed to write about? So just have a list of things, and it will trigger people's memory about what they want to talk about. I'm also bringing a bunch of pens. I just grabbed 15 pens. I tested them beforehand to make sure they all write. And I have some stamps. So I went and got a couple of sheets of stamps. Now, here's the thing about stamps. I don't think you have to buy the stamps for everybody, because my postcards and my tape cost less than $5 for 100 postcards and all this tape. So less than $5 for that, but the stamps are a little bit more expensive. So what you could do to, again, remove the barrier for people is you can collect all of their postcards and have them chip in $1 or something, and you can mail all their postcards for them. Okay, that'll just remove the barrier. Or maybe somebody else in the group will volunteer to do it. But I think, you know, as the host, I would volunteer to go and get the stamps for everybody and just mail everybody's postcards. It's going to take an extra 20, 30 minutes out of my life, but I'm totally willing to do that for democracy, okay? So you can bring stamps, have people pitch in $1 or $2. It's really not that much, and you can do that. So I'm going to pop over to my computer and show you how to make labels, because I actually made label sheets for all of my representatives. And in Akron, we have 3 representatives in my zip code. Obviously, I know which one is mine, but I'm writing to all of them because you know what? They gerrymandered this place, and I'm writing to all of them.
All right, I used Google Drive to make my labels. So if you have a Gmail account, so I'm signed into Gmail, you can click on this to see all of your Google apps, and I'm using Sheets. So these are Google Sheets, and we'll just do a blank one. So across the top, we want to name it first, last, address, city, state, zip. Now, it's important that you don't put a space after the word for any of these words. So make sure it's just the label, okay? And then let's choose somebody. I like Sherrod Brown. We'll start with him. And then you just find his address. Sherrod Brown, office. Here's his contact page. Now, here's the thing. You can write to people in DC, but they might not get it. They're really flooded with mail. So I don't know the most effective way, honestly, but I'm sending it to the Cleveland office. So I'm just going to copy that address and paste it here. Now I just noticed that he has a suite number. So I'm going to right click and insert a column here. Oops, and call it suite. Okay. And then I'll copy that. And the city is Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. So these are all formatted a little bit differently. There's a cool thing called a format painter. So you click in a space that you like. So I like the format of this one. And then click Paint Format or Format Painter. And then click on all the rest of it. Just highlight all of it and it will make all of it the same as your original square. All right. Now, I know that there are 30 labels on a sheet of labels. So I'm going to copy this and go down to row 31 and paste. And now I have a full sheet of Sherrod Brown labels. And then just do that for each of your representatives that you're contacting. All right, so that's how you make the address sheet. Now we have to make the label sheet, and that will be a Google Doc. So we'll go to Docs, and we'll make a new one. Now, you first have to install an add-on. So in Google Docs, click on Add-ons, and then click Get Add-ons, and search for Avery Labels. Okay, Avery Label Merge. So click download or whatever you have to do to get that. Okay, just get this Avery Label Merge. All right, then it will show up here under add-ons, and then you click Avery Label Merge and New Merge. Okay, then you click an Avery product. Address labels is good, 30 labels per sheet. Now I'm using generic like Target labels, but it's the same. So you just find the one that looks like the one that you have. So this is the right one. And your label sheet will tell you compared to Avery 5160, whatever. So just select the label sheet that looks like the one you have, and then you choose a spreadsheet. So I'll choose this one. This is the untitled one that I just created. Now, Google saves everything automatically, so you don't have to hit save over and over again. So that's why I know, like, even though I didn't even name this spreadsheet, it's saved. Okay, so here's where we build our label. Our first step here is to click first. So it will pull in the first name, and then you hit the space bar and last. So that will put a space between the first name and last name. Then hit return address, and it will pop in there. There we go. Hit return again, suite, city, comma, space, state, space, zip. Okay, so we got all of our columns, and it's pulling from sheet 1, and these are the correct rows, and then we hit merge. All right, so it's done merging. We'll hit open, and here are our labels, and we can print them. One time when I printed, the addresses didn't exactly line up. If they don't line up, you can click and kind of highlight this first row and just scoot everything over a little bit, like that. So if your labels don't exactly fit, you can just scoot them over. But that's it. That's how I did it. And you can save this label sheet to use over and over again, or you can create it each time. It didn't take that long, about 5 minutes there. I saved the full label sheet so that I can print it again. So this one that's called Congress is all of them. So here's one label sheet, and I just put them all on one label sheet. So it's 5 pages, so I can just print this over and over again every time we have a postcard party.
That's the other thing too. It's important to write to both parties because they all need to be able to communicate the number of people who are reaching out to them. So write to both parties, not just the one that you oppose and not just the one that you agree with. Write to both of them so they can say, I heard from 1,000 constituents today and they all said this. We want all of them to be able to say that because we know one party probably won't on whichever issue it is. So I'm not picking on any one party right now, but they don't want to bring up the numbers of people who call them if it's against something that they're talking about. So anyway, you can totally do this. You can host your own postcard party. I believe in you. It's all about, showing up and holding space for that. I'm holding mine at a local restaurant that I know everybody likes to hang out with. I kind of gave the restaurant a heads up, but it doesn't have to be anything official, I don't think. People will be encouraged to buy tea or get a drink or whatever. And we're just going to hang out and make postcards. And we're keeping it short and sweet. We are writing to the representatives who represent us. Don't forget state issues. You might also want to contact your state representatives because it looks like a lot of the federal government stuff will be turned over to the states. We need to get the states in line as well. And just make your voice heard. Thank you for your interest in hosting a postcard party. We deserve to speak up on the issues that matter to us. So thank you for that. And I'll see you soon. Good luck. Let me know how your party goes. Bye.